In this video, I'm going to be introducing you to Kajabi, explaining what it is, what it can do, and specifically how I've leveraged the platform to turn a passion into a six-figure business, plus crucially, how and why you could do the same. And there's never been a better time to consider jumping into Kajabi because they've got a special offer on at the moment where you can get 3 months of Kajabi for just $99. And I'll be talking more about that later and why that is such a great deal. Incidentally, if you sign up with my affiliate link, you also get access to my Kajabi Accelerator course to help you really make a great start on the platform. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I'll introduce you to Kajabi if you are completely unfamiliar, talk about what it is, and maybe also why you might consider making a course, because it is a course hosting platform, although it can do so much more, and I'll be talking about what that is as well. And then run through some steps as to how you can go through and build out your course. And in fact, there's a guide that I created last year that I'm going to be updating a little bit later as well, but that is basically how you can use AI to help you with some of the parts maybe of course creation that maybe might not feel that they come completely naturally. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Hi to Jeff, who I know is in the Discord, and also hi to George in the chat. Great to see you here as well. Let's just jump straight into it though, and talk about exactly what Kajabi is. So it is at its core, a course hosting platform. And there are plenty of reasons why you should create a course, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that is, in essence, what the platform is intended for. But it can do so much more than that. So when I switched over to Kajabi, I was using really a collection of other platforms. So I'd used ClickFunnels for my website sales funnels. I was using Squarespace for my regular website. I was then having to host videos that I was doing, that I was using for some of the other courses I'd created outside of Take One Tech, and those were hosted on ClickFunnels, or rather the course was on ClickFunnels, but I had to provide my own video hosting. And you could either do that by having your videos on YouTube as unlisted and then have them basically just embedded into the pages. But better still would be to have some sort of white label solution so that people don't just see that, oh, the course is basically just a rebadged YouTube course, because then also it makes it very easy for people to send out and share out all of your content. So there is a service called Wistia, which is a video hosting platform, which you can pay for, which is $100 a month plus 10 cents per video per month. But when you start making 100 video courses, that quickly racks up, and you find that you've got, this other subscription you're paying for. And Wistia was the platform that lots of people use, and that's what I was using with ClickFunnels. Then there is email marketing and email management, and there are things like MailChimp for bulk email. So I was having contacts in my ClickFunnels, but then for my bulk email sending, I was using a service called Mailgun, another subscription. And before you know it, you can potentially have, multiple different subscriptions going just to really run your business. What I love about Kajabi is it is an all-in-one platform. So it really does it all. If I just quickly jump over to Kajabi, I'm not going to do a full tutorial. I've done those on the channel before, but this is just my little demo account in Kajabi. There's basically 4 sort of key areas in here. You've got products, sales, website, and marketing. So the products is where you're going to host things like your courses. You can run coaching from within here. It does have a community feature. Personally, I use the community feature in Discord. Or rather, I use Discord as my community. And you can also host your podcast in there. Now, I would say that really all I'm using it for is courses and my digital products, my icon packs, and things like that. And although I do use my Kajabi website as a way for people to book coaching, I still do coaching using Zoom and Calendly. But these are all basically added on features. So you don't necessarily need to think that, oh, well, it seems like, you're only using 25%. No, this is basically 99% of the value of Kajabi is in the course hosting, the digital products, and things like that. So they are developing out the coaching products and the community aspect of it as well. But for the time being, that is what I use it for, the courses. So that is where you're going to create, in here I've got a couple of dummy things, so a couple of different courses here in coaching. That is where you're defining basically what your products are. In the sales section, that's where you're going to create, excuse me. That's where you're going to create your offers. Now, what's the difference between an offer versus a product? Well, the product might well be, in fact, if we think about my offerings, I've got my Ecamm Live Masterclass. I've also got one that's called a Zoom Masterclass, but as part of the Zoom course, you also get the Ecamm course. So that was basically an offer that I created. One is an offer of the Ecamm Live Masterclass. The other one is an offer of the Zoom Masterclass, but that includes my Zoom product and my Ecamm product together. So creating offers is a way to basically bundle the different products you've got up into some sort of offer. Next, you've got coupons, so where you can create coupon codes for discounts and promotions and things. And the next big one actually is this affiliates, and that is where you can have your own affiliate program. And nothing warms my heart more than seeing that somebody's referred somebody to my content, because my affiliate program, by the way, you can sign up on my website. I'll show you where to do that a little bit later. But basically, I pay out 30% commission for any referrals that come from my affiliates. And that is something that when I just refer back to ClickFunnels, that was something where you needed to upgrade in order to be able to run an affiliate program. It wasn't as smooth and seamless, whereas this is just literally, you can almost sort of toggle it on, set the commission levels that you want, add different, products that you want to be able to give people links to share out to, and that's it. In fact, one of my goals for 2024 is to really build out my whole affiliate scheme. And just as a little side note here, typically, affiliate schemes will be people are going to share links to your paid content, and that's great. But maybe people have a little bit of friction when it comes to just thinking, well, I'm just going to be, sharing out links to paid stuff. What I'm intending to do through 2024 is create a whole load of free content, so free mini courses, free guides, and all of these kind of things. And that is the things that I'm going to be promoting to my affiliates to share out. And you might think, well, why share out free stuff? What's the benefit to them? Well, if you have shared something to my website or sent somebody to my website, even if it's to get a free product or a free mini course or something like that, they're still tagged against that affiliate. So it means that any purchases they make after the fact are going to be attributable to that affiliate. So what that means is it's really incentivizes affiliates to share, high quality value content that is, a gift to their audience, if you like, some sort of free valuable content. But then I'll deal with the upsell and the sales and things like that that go on after the fact. But then the commission still goes to the affiliate. So that's kind of the direction I'm taking my affiliate scheme in 2024. But anyway, I digress slightly. So that is one of the huge features, though, for me, is the affiliates. And, I have affiliate revenue and affiliate commissions, rather, I should say, to pay out every month. And as I say, I really love that, because it does mean people are sharing out my content and my courses. So the next section then is the website. It's got a really robust website builder where you can design out your different pages, your landing pages, and your sales funnels. And I have to say that if you think that Kajabi is a course hosting platform that's got all of these other features versus ClickFunnels, which was a sales funnel platform that also allowed me to host my courses. And I mean, ClickFunnels has funnels in the name, so you would think, that's the one to go for. And indeed, it is one of these sort of leading platforms in the market for creating sales funnels. However, I've got to say that I much prefer Kajabi's implementation of it. It makes it much more easy for you to go through and create a sales funnel. And maybe in case you're not sure what I'm talking about, even with a sales funnel, I do actually have a guide. If you go over to my website, I'll go back and put a link to this in the description as well. If you go to my website, so obviously this website is all Kajabi. If I go to my resources section over here, then what you'll see is we have got a series of guides. There is this one, the AI-powered course creation guide, which I'll be talking about a bit later. But there's also this one, the 5-step digital marketing blueprint. And that will explain all about what sales funnels are and why they are so more effective than just a simple generic website. And you can still have the website, but having specific avenues for people to go through is what a sales funnel's for. It's basically a way to take people people through on a journey from a landing page through to downloading something, buying a course, or whatever it happens to be. So the funnel builder that they have in Kajabi is, for me, so much better than even ClickFunnels. So that is saying something, because, as I say, ClickFunnels is considered one of the industry leaders in that. The thing that I like about Kajabi for funnels, by the way, is the fact that it has these templates that are sort of laid out in a really great way that basically tells you the information to put in and why that is important. So, for example, when you're creating an email sequence, it has email 1, email 2, email 3. But then in email 1, it will say, in a descriptive way, explain about the course and how it has impacted your, how this journey has impacted your company, or whatever it is. It's been descriptive as to what you should put into that email, rather than just, an empty file structure or something else. It's very descriptive. So even if you haven't had the experience of doing all of these kind of things before, Kajabi, it's sort of inbuilt into their templates to talk you through how to do it. And they've got loads of great templates for websites, for landing pages, and all of these kind of things as well. So I've come to this with previous experience and understanding how this stuff all works. And so I can say that, I've got an appreciation of what they're saying in their templates is, really sound, solid advice, and it makes it easy to sort of go through that step by step. So coming back over to the interface here then, so as well as your design, you can create your web pages. And so there are web pages versus landing pages. And just to briefly touch on that, if I come over to my website, here we can see this is a regular website. It's got all of my links and things like that. But if, for example, I was to go over to, let's say, my courses section, and then go into my academy, learn more, then something like this that's going to come up now would be considered more of a landing page. So the difference here is there is no menu at the top. You arrive at this page, and as you scroll down, it's basically just the sales page for my Take One Tech Academy. And the options that you have when you scroll down through here, this is all the information about it. And when you get to the bottom, the options are, to sign up at one of these different things, or maybe, book a call with me to discuss your options and so on. So it's very much a standalone page. So although I do have, obviously, a full website here, when I link to these products, so when I link out to my academy or course or things like that, then it is going to a landing page. Same would be for, let's say, if we went to my Stream Deck Masterclass, for example. So that is accessed from my store here. But when I'm linking out to my Stream Deck Masterclass, like if you go to streamdeckmasterclass.com, it redirects to this page, and it is a standalone page that is literally just the sales page for this particular course. So that's just briefly the difference between landing pages versus the overall website and so on. So that is just some little differences there. So coming back over to Kajabi though, this is where you are basically setting up all of that, all of your website. And then it's got the marketing section down here. And this is where you're going to create email campaigns. You can create email sequences. So maybe when you've got your lead magnets, which are things that are basically you're giving away for free. I mean, I've kind of talked about some of mine inadvertently already. If you go over to my resources section, these things technically are what we call lead magnets. So when you come down here, this free guide, the 5-step digital marketing blueprint, the AI powered course creation, these are all free guides that you can click to download. So when you click on this, get your copy, you are exchanging an email for the document. You can always opt out from the email, of course, but that's what these things are. They're lead magnets, free, high value content that then allows people to promote potentially future products, future offerings related to this particular topic or this particular thing here. So. Then we've got other things like checklists and so on, and some recommendations down there. So just coming back, this is, after you have generated these sorts of leads, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, then you've got this thing here to be able to create your email campaigns, maybe an onboarding sequence, maybe, following up when you have got special offers or some other newsletter that you want to deliver. You can do that all from here. Funnels, I've already talked about briefly. So this is where you would actually create these specific sequences in here. This is just a demo account, so it doesn't have too much in here at the moment. And then you've got automations. So there's a whole load of automations. In fact, let's just have a look. If I go into a new funnel, let's just create one just to sort of show you what I'm talking about. So a lead magnet is something that you're giving away for free in exchange for an email address. So let's say you wanted to do that in Kajabi. You would just come over to the funnels, click on the freebie thing here, give it a name. So let's say lead magnet. And then just click on create funnel. And what it's going to do is it's going to go and create this thing for you that's basically got these different steps in. So it's going to create a few different things. So first of all, it's got an opt-in page here that it's created. So this is where it's created the sort of landing page. Then it's got the email sequence, and then it's taking you to a thank you page. So it's a very simple thing, really. It's basically first of all, a page where you're going to drop your lead magnet in. You're going to set up your form so that it's basically going to take the name and email. And then the next thing that's going to happen is going to email out to that download and then take them through to a thank you page. So a very simple funnel there. That's literally just a 2 or 3 step funnel. Obviously, you can go a lot more in depth with these sorts of things. So let's say, for example, you might be wanting to run a webinar, a Zoom webinar. Well, that might be a bit more complex. You might want to have not just the Zoom webinar, but there's going to be sort of an onboarding sequence. If I need to go through and put in a whole load of stuff here, let me just tell you what that would create, though. That would basically create a landing page where people register for the webinar. It would then have an email sequence, which is basically an onboarding email, and then like in the run-up to the webinar, potentially 3 separate pages that you're going to send people through to via an email that's then going to have, video 1, 2, and 3 to sort of prime people for the event, for the webinar. And then after the webinar has happened, it would obviously, or when the webinar happens, it would email out the link to that for them to join. And then after the fact, there might be sort of 3 emails that go out afterwards. But basically, just by clicking this and putting in the link to your meeting and so on, giving it a title, it would go through and create all of that structure. And as I've said, one of the beauties of this system is that it does just really tell you, what to put into all of the emails, to the web pages, and so on. So it really sort of talks you through the process if you're not familiar with it. The next thing then is automations in the marketing. So there's a lot you can do here with when somebody signs up to something. For example, maybe you want to give them a coupon code to get a discount on something else, or maybe you want to add them to a particular list. There's all sorts of automation that you can do within here. Next is events. So that is where if you're holding an event, you can sort of create that within here, that then there is certain sequences attached to that. So for example, I did an event recently, which was actually for Vivo meetings. But what I did was I set up all of my email sequences based on the time of the start of that week-long event. And it meant that everyone was getting their emails in a timely fashion based on when the event was and so on. So you can set up all of that sort of stuff. And then finally, you've got the contacts, which is where you're going to manage your contacts. You can create audience segmentation, so you can group people together into particular groups so that they're receiving the right sort of emails and things like that. So that's an overview of the platform itself. And as I've said, it is really this thing that it is an all-in-one solution. And I mentioned right at the beginning that they are doing a special offer at the moment, which is $99 for 3 months. The plan that I'm on and the one that gives you access to is the regular price is $199 a month. So actually, by doing the $99 for 3 months, that's saving like $498 over that 3 months. But also it gives you access to my Kajabi Accelerator course, which the regular price for that is $197. I've left a link to that in the description. But if you sign up to Kajabi with my affiliate link, then you get free access to that course. And that's actually running all next week. So or at least the live sessions are. So the discount for Kajabi is running through January, but my course literally starts on Monday. I do 2 sessions a day, just so that we account for people in different time zones. And basically that's 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern. And then also, because it's 3 months of Kajabi, there is a weekly check-in as well for that 3 months as well. So you can find out more details about that in the description, and I've linked to it right at the top of the chat for those that are in the chat. But I want to take a step back, though, because I've given you an introduction to the platform, and as I say, it's what I've used to build my entire business on, my website is hosted on there. Maybe just take a quick look at what I actually do with Kajabi. So if I come to my homepage here, I do have a regular website. Funnels are great, and some people just have their main website is just one big funnel to their core offering. But because I have so many different things that I do want to offer, I've kind of split this up so that this is basically the gateway into multiple different potentially sales funnels or different offerings. So here, I've got my courses, obviously, but I do one-to-one coaching. I've got digital products as well. So this is basically serves as my sort of digital storefront. By the way, Digital Stage Revolution. I've got some more dates coming for that later on this year. I shall be adding those in. I've obviously got my courses, so people can find out about my courses here, workshops that I do, icon packs, free resources, and my somewhat behind book launch is coming as well. So I use my Kajabi website to host all of those things. So at the top, for example, if you want to find out about my consultation services, you'll find that up there with different consultation offerings. I've then got my course section where you'll find my beginners guides, masterclasses, accelerators, and so you'll find those all in there as well. And then the one that I've mentioned previously, the Take One Tech Academy as well. Then in my resources, so this is basically all of my free things, which are essentially lead magnets or affiliate links. So you'll find my lead magnets at the top there. And I'm just using the technical term, if you want to call them my valuable information resources, that's what they are also. But since we're talking in Kajabi terms and in marketing terms, the lead magnets there. And then down at the bottom are products and services that I recommend. And these are sort of affiliate links down at the bottom. So I'm using it to host those as well. And then right at the top, we've also got my store. So that is for digital products. You can create digital products as paid products as well. So for example, my Stream Deck icon packs are all in here as well, and you click through to one of those. It's not a course or anything like that, a product, but basically this is still all done in Kajabi. It's linked in with Stripe, my payment gateway. So if you want to buy this Keynote icon pack, for example, then you can just go in here, complete your purchase, and then Kajabi is all of the automation is set up in there so that when somebody purchases, it's the payment is managed through Stripe via Kajabi, and then it's just automatically sending out an email with the download of the icon pack. So you can use it as a digital storefront in that respect for digital products. If you want to do stuff with physical products, then you would need some sort of third-party integration that you're going to do into Kajabi as such, from the automation point of view. So if I come back out of here though, then we've got other things. So community, public speaking, and podcasts. So those are things that are basically linking to other places. I do actually host my my live streamer backstage podcast on the platform. It's on a bit of a hiatus. However, when that comes back, I will probably be moving that over to Captivate because it's a more robust podcasting platform, but it is there nevertheless. And then obviously we've got my courses. So somebody can log into my website here, and basically that is going to take them through to their course library. So this is what it looks like when somebody actually logs in and having bought a course or multiple courses, or if they're an Academy member, and you can basically just see the different courses that are in here. So let's say we go and look in the Stream Deck Masterclass, for example. Then here you can see we've got all these different categories of different lesson modules. So I'll click in this one, let's say understanding plugins and actions, for example. So clicking on that, you've got all of the different videos in here. And by the way, all the layout of this, it's so simple to actually just upload your content in this structure. And it deals with all of the sort of layout aspects of it. And you've got the player here. You can just see what videos are in this particular section of the course and so on, and just click through. So it's very easy to create all of this stuff, as I say, in Kajabi. But what I want to talk about, though, is the things that might be potentially holding you back from this idea of making a course. It is an all-in-one platform. That's kind of just an overview of what I'm using it for. But I think that there is this sort of friction associated with making a course for a number of reasons. So first of all, there is this idea of actually charging for information, especially if you are coming to this as a content creator and maybe you're already creating content on YouTube. Then one question that I get asked continuously is, how do I decide between what information to give for free versus what information to give in a course. And I think that this is something that people struggle with because they have this idea, this notion that they have to have some free content and then that leads into the paid content. And there has to be this line between those two. And so does that mean that when you start creating courses, you've suddenly got to start holding stuff back from your free content? That's not the case at all. You should be giving as much value in your free content as you are in the paid content. And there's nothing that I hold back. I never think to myself like, oh, there's some little gem of information here that I'm going to save for a course. I actually give all of the information freely on YouTube as well. And, anybody in the chat, anybody in comments, anyone in Discord, they can always ask me anything and I'll always give them an honest and truthful, full answer to the best of my ability. So I never make that division. So then you might say, well, what's the differentiation then between a video and a course? Well, the thing about a video is, first of all, it's got to sort of stand up on its own. So this is a live stream I'm doing about Kajabi. It's probably going to last 60 minutes, something like that. It needs to have a start, a middle, and an end, and it needs to sort of stand up on its own, basically, as a piece of content. That means that, there isn't the opportunity for me to go into great depth on certain aspects. You may be coming into this as a complete newbie to Kajabi, and maybe some of the things that I've just said have gone over your head, or maybe some of the things that I've just said you feel like you didn't want to watch. You know all of that, and so you're then potentially scrubbing through the video trying to find the bit that you do want. Or maybe I could have gone into a lot more depth, laying the foundations of all of those different sections that we talked about there of Kajabi. Okay, how do you actually do that from a technical perspective? Well, the beauty of a course is that you can cover as much or as little of this stuff as you want, and you can split it out and you can go into a lot more depth on the foundational stuff potentially, so it appeals to a wider audience. And there is this thing of, information is free, but basically in a course, what people are paying for is the organization and the structure. At least that's one of the things. So it does mean that, if I go into my Stream Deck course again, just briefly, then I've been able to break that down into a whole series of little submodules. So this is all about understanding plugins and actions, for example. And I've got multiple different videos in here talking about those specific things. So it means that, if you are new to Stream Deck, you want to get a full understanding of how to use it, and you're just thinking about plugins and actions, you could go into specific things here. You might have just got a new Stream Deck pedal and want to understand, what that can do, or maybe the Stream Deck Plus, and so there are certain things that does that other ones don't. Here you can find there are specific modules for that. Maybe it's a case of in 6 to 8 months' time, you are wanting a refresher on some little part, and you think, oh yeah, there was that video all about this. And you could go back and watch just that specific video. That's a little bit more tricky if you're doing a long form video or a series of short videos, on YouTube or social platforms, for that searchability and that reference, for it to be reference material for people. So that is the first thing. That's the way that I look at this. Is I'm creating a sort of a journey within these courses that are taking people through from foundational level through to more advanced stuff. However, it's up to the viewer, the student, if you will, to decide what they want to do. And I, in fact, always have in my courses. I always have like an introduction to the course, but then I will have some really sort of basic setup, introduction to Stream Deck. So some people will know all about Stream Deck. They don't need to watch that part. They can just pick and choose the sections that they want. So that's what is different for me about courses versus the free content on YouTube. And the other thing, though, is just merely the type of content. So obviously, I'm sitting here talking and in a video, whether it's a live video or a recorded video, then, there is a specific content that is being delivered. Well, there are obviously different types of courses you can do. So the Stream Deck Masterclass, for example, is a on-demand course. Once people sign up, they get full access to the entire library, can watch it at their own pace. It's all pre-recorded content, but just with that really organized structure, going from the foundational stuff right through to the highly advanced stuff of how you can use Stream Deck for, maximum productivity and so on. But the Kajabi Accelerator, which is happening next week, is a slightly different style of course. That is what we call a cohort course or a live course. And so as well as having the pre-recorded stuff that does give all the foundational side of things. There are also live sessions, and as I said, there's 2 live sessions a day, which is basically a repeat of each other, but people are welcome to come to both of them if they want. But it's just to account for people in different time zones. So one thing I've learned with running the Take One Tech Academy is that we are dealing with a global audience, and we've got folks in, from Australia, New Zealand, through to, where I am, Southeast Asia, Europe, America. So people are up at different times. So I do 2 sessions for my weekly Q&As in the Academy, and that's what I also do with my cohort courses as well, just to account for that. But that is something that you don't get with YouTube, isn't it? You can't have that sort of live experience that you get by being on a Zoom call, being able to actually get the information that you need, ask questions, be sort of face-to-face on camera and so on, if you want to be on camera, that is. And so that's something that is just a different sort of learning style. You also, with courses, get, potentially more downloads, more supporting material that you maybe wouldn't get if you were just purely learning from the University of YouTube, as it were. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So if you are somebody who has been thinking about this thing of how you draw the line between free and paid content, then it's not something that you should feel, should be holding you back. As I say, there are plenty of people who actually want that experience, and that is who you are serving. And don't stop making the free stuff for YouTube as well, and don't ever hold back the information either. So that is just one of the things that can potentially hold people back from creating a course. The other thing that can hold people back is maybe feeling like, well, you use a particular tool, or you've got a particular skill, but maybe you feel that either you haven't got the depth of knowledge that some other people have. Maybe you feel like, well, I'm not really the ultimate expert in this. There are other people that are more advanced than me. Or maybe you've seen that somebody else has already made a course on this topic before, and so you're thinking, maybe I don't have anything to offer here. Well, the thing about it is, really, all you need to be thinking about is what it is that you are offering, the value that you are intending to deliver, and then making sure that that is outlined, when you are making your offer. So I'll use an example, which is somebody that I absolutely love. One of my favorite creators is Tom Buck, and he created his course all about I forget the name of the editing software now, the editing software that everyone uses, Final Cut. And when he created his Final Cut course, I really loved the positioning that he gave, because he said Final Cut is like the ultimate in editing software. It can do so much. You can create full movies in that. And he said, well, I don't use it to do all of that stuff, and I probably don't use 80% of all of its functionality. But what I do is I use it to make all of my videos for my channel, which now has, whatever he's up to now, 140,000 subs or something like that. And so if you want to learn how I use Final Cut to make my content, then this is the course for you. Now, isn't that just an amazing bit of positioning? Because all he's saying is, if you want to do what I do, then come and join this course. And that is what he delivers on, I'm sure. So just to use that as an example, you don't necessarily have to think that you've got to make the all-encompassing masterclass on a particular topic. All you need to do is define what it is that you're going to be teaching in your course, and then deliver on that expectation. So if you are thinking that, maybe somebody else has done it as well, and so there's already a course about X, Y, and Z, well, you don't need to let that hold you back either, because ultimately, people will want to learn from different people. Some people will prefer one person's teaching style versus another. And so once again, all you need to be doing is delivering it in your own authentic way, to use that's somewhat overused phrase, but as long as you are delivering it in the, that way, then it is that's all that matters at the end of the day. And also, if you are already a content creator, potentially, I know not everybody is that may be watching this, but if you are already a content creator creating content for YouTube, then actually the YouTube side of things is a really great lead-in to your recorded content. And if you are a course creator and are not on YouTube, you're definitely missing a trick, because it does give people the opportunity to get to know you, get to see your teaching style. If you are doing that kind of thing on YouTube already, as I'm doing with Take One Tech, the people who come in and buy my courses have likely watched a lot of my videos previously, and so they've got to understand, and that familiarity with my teaching style, and so on. So they kind of know what they're expecting. And that is one of the great things, just as a side note, about using YouTube as an inbound marketing tool. It's this thing that people get to know you before they go through that process of actually buying. So it's a lot different than a cold call or a cold sale where you're maybe advertising something on social media or whatever to be a link straight through to a course that then you're potentially in front of a load of strangers who are clicking through, and then they're kind of thinking, who's this guy or girl? So the YouTube is a great inbound marketing tool from that point of view. So those are just a few other reasons why people might think that they don't want to make a course, and I'll just want to dispel those myths. You're not necessarily saying that you're putting up any paywalls. You're just merely giving this as another option for people who want to go down that route and do want to learn more from you. So it's almost a crime to not do this if you are potentially holding back some learning opportunities from people to learn from you in different ways. So then the other aspect then that potentially holds people back is just the potential feeling that, you might well have an understanding of the topic, but don't know where to start in terms of creating the course and all of those sort of different associated things. And that's really what the Kajabi Accelerator is about, first of all. So if you do sign up to Kajabi and get on the Accelerator course, then it's going to go through this process and then obviously the ongoing support after the fact to help you sort of implement it. However, regardless, there is my free guide, the AI-powered course creation guide. I probably need to update this in all honesty because it was created about a year ago and it was all about ChatGPT. Now, obviously, ChatGPT has come a long way since last year. Let me just get this little flag out of the way. But I will just use this as an example because the point about this was how you can use AI to help you with those steps that maybe you're not familiar with. And if I just scroll down through here, this is basically, I created this, the 12 steps to creating your successful online course. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly go through these 12 steps. I won't go through the full guide. As I say, this is the free guide. You can find it linked. It talks about how to use ChatGPT at all of these different points. And as you can see, it's really going into depth in terms of, the prompts that you can use to help with all of these different sections. So it's a really thorough document. But let me just go through the 12 steps to sort of help you maybe think about the process here. So if you are considering doing this, the first step then would be to define or identify your niche. Now, that may be perfectly obvious to you. You've got the particular field that you're working in, but it may be that you've got multiple different areas that you're working in. So deciding on what is your particular area of expertise that you're going to make your course about, and thinking about the target audience for your course. And as I say, for each of these steps, there is some ChatGPT prompts to help you actually establish that, because sometimes when you're in the midst of a particular field or whatever, it might not be immediately obvious to you, some of these things, like who your target audience is, for example. So there are some creative ways to think about this rather than just you kind of coming up with it off the top of your head, so to speak. The next thing is to choose your topic. Now, this kind of relates to that point that I made earlier. It might be that you're thinking that Final Cut is the topic, and therefore this is really sort of broad. And where do we start to sort of break that down? But going back to the example I gave of Tom Buck, well, he focused in on a specific subset of that. So researching your topic and thinking about the topic, these are kind of go hand in hand, but it's all about this idea of deciding what is the topic for your particular course going to be. And you may have mapped out multiple different courses. You could do a mini course on just one particular thing and then decide that you're going to sort of take it in bite-sized chunks. Maybe you've got a large topic that you do know very well, or a large field that you do know very well, but it's overwhelming thinking about just the sheer volume of your knowledge and how to actually put that and convey that. Well, you could break it down into small little mini courses so that it's more manageable for you to create and more manageable to consume as well. But once you've done that, then thinking about doing some research on, maybe further research on the topic, maybe thinking about ways to explain things, and other resources that are in that particular field. Next is creating a course outline. And honestly, this is something that ChatGPT has been so helpful to me for, and I have never used a ChatGPT course outline in one of my courses. But do you know what? What it does for me is it really helps me get over the friction, because I am honestly really terrible at having hurdles and friction in my way, and it's stopping me from doing things. And worse still, if I've got something that's a high priority item and there's something that comes up that causes friction, it almost stops me from doing other things that I could arguably be doing. But I feel like, well, I can't do those until I've got this, really important thing to do out of the way, because then I feel like I'm neglecting the important thing to focus on these other smaller things. But what happens is, because I've got some friction, I'm still also not doing the high priority task. So the ChatGPT for me has been a great enabler to help me get over that personality flaw, mental trait, or whatever you want to call it, that is potentially holding me back. Because using something like ChatGPT to just give you that initial outline, I find that it really helps to get the ball rolling. And once I just say, create an outline for this, I can kind of look at that and say, you know what, none of that is right. But what I'm going to do is go through and use this framework and then apply it to, my knowledge and what I want to share. And that goes for all of these 12 steps, actually. Same for landing pages. I know how to craft landing pages with calls to action and with, all these different things. I know how to do that. I've got experience of doing that. I even wrote a guide on how to do it. But there is nothing better than having an initial framework to work from to reduce that friction. So, yeah, going into ChatGPT and saying, create me a framework for a landing a landing page to promote this course. Excuse me. Then, having it create that initial draft is great, because I'm going to go through, I'm going to change all of the wording, I'm going to change all of the phrasing and put it into my vocabulary and all of these kind of things. But it's given me that head start. It's given me that starting point to get the ball rolling. So, outlining your course and creating a detailed outline of your course for the topics you'll cover, the lessons you'll teach, that's breaking it down. Then you can look at sort of recording these things in little small chunks. By the way, my channel, Take One Tech, is called that because I make all my videos in one take with no edits. This is obviously a live stream, so no edits in here either. But with my course content, I tend to use much shorter videos. And the reason is, coming back to that course outline, it makes it much easier to sort of for people to find things. So that's why each of these videos, if I actually go into any of these videos, you'll see that they are, let's just grab any one of them. They are, a few minutes long each. And if you are somebody who doesn't like editing, like me, or finds that is a sticking point, then if I just bring up any one of these, and wouldn't you know it, it doesn't show up on the, the joy of live demos. These are all about 3 or 4, 5 minutes long, something like that. So if you are somebody who doesn't like editing, there we go. It's just come up just as I flicked away from it. So 4 minutes, 36 for this particular video. If I click onto another one, it'll be, again, 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. So what that means is, if you are somebody who doesn't like editing, this doesn't really have to be highly edited. And you can just go through and record your videos, one after another, with little editing, and if you do sort of mess it up, then you can always retake it or something like that, or you could do editing if you really love that. But for me, the thing I love about it is, once I've got my course outline, then I'm basically just sitting in front of Ecamm Live, going through step by step, making the videos one after another, and they are all in nice little sort of bite-sized chunks there. So that would be the next step. So then creating your course content, I use Ecamm Live, the same thing I'm using for this live scene switching, being able to switch between different scenes in Ecamm, just like this, different camera angles and so on. Then I use that for my course creation as well. That has really just transformed my life. Honestly, I cannot speak highly enough of Ecamm and what that's allowed me to do. So creating the course content. Now, you could say that if people are thinking about creating a course, maybe these are the parts that do potentially come naturally. You may well feel like, well, I know what I'm going to talk about. I know the topic, and I already know the structure because I know the topic inside and out. What then can be a sticking point for people is actually these following steps. It's things like the price point, the setting up your course platform, choosing a platform, whether it's Kajabi, whether it's something else, balancing off these different things. Pricing your course as well. That can be a sticking point for folks as well, deciding on what the course should be priced. By the way, I think that people often undervalue their knowledge. They maybe take for granted all of their, worldly wisdom and experience. And so what comes as second nature to you may well not at all be second nature to other people. And your particular way of approaching things could be a real just gem to people. And so whenever you're thinking about pricing your course, there is that classic example of there's various versions of this. But let's just say it's somebody's boiler, somebody's furnace in their house is broken. The heating's gone out. It's in the middle of winter, and so they call out a mechanic to come and fix it, and then he comes out and he just takes one look at it, taps it with a hammer, and then suddenly it bursts into life and starts working again. And then he gives them a bill for $600 or $1,000 or whatever it is, and somebody says, that's ridiculous. How can you charge that much? All you did was hit it with a hammer. And then they give them the say, well, let me give you an itemized bill. Tapping the furnace or the boiler with a hammer is $1. Knowing where to tap it is the other $599 or whatever it happens to be. And that is the thing, really. It's like all of this knowledge and wisdom that you have that maybe you don't realize the value of it. So whenever you're thinking about the value of something or the pricing of it, it's not almost what it's worth to you. It's the value that it is going to be offering to somebody else. And that's the same whether it's consultancy or whether it's courses or whatever it happens to be. It's whatever the value is going to be to somebody, whatever problem that is solving for them. And sort of linked to that then, you may well have a course that is, a masterclass. I call some of my longer form courses, the ones that are going from complete beginner to, total expert. I call those masterclasses. They're all encompassing things. And some of them have got over 100 videos. That doesn't mean to say that you've got to make a course with 100 videos. You could totally make a course that's got 3 videos or 2 videos, and it just solves the problem for people. So, that is the thing that you've got to think about. Don't need to compare, what other people's courses have got in them. All you need to think about is, how you are delivering the value and what value you are delivering to somebody, and if you are delivering on that expectation. So, as I say, in this document, there's loads of stuff in here to do with pricing your course and all of these different things and creating a pricing structure. The other thing to think about is, are you going to offer something as a one-off payment versus a subscription? Now, I started out making my courses just as standalone courses. I started with, from a Take One Tech perspective, I had my Ecamm Live Masterclass, then my Zoom course, then my Rodecaster course, and they were just standalone courses. Then, the beginning of last year, I started to work on and introduce my Take One Tech Academy in March of last year. And that was to basically introduce a subscription model. Now, some people go really deep in the paid individual paid courses and then think that they can't switch over to a subscription model because, how does that work when people have, paid for courses, or are they then sort of removing the ability for people to have it as a paid course, a single one-off payment? My approach to this was I actually give people a choice. Either you can buy the course complete as a standalone course, or you can join the Take One Tech Academy, and that gives you access. I suppose this is where I should pop this up on the screen. This is where you can get access to all of my courses for a subscription. So why go for a subscription model when you can buy stuff outright? Well, the thing there is that there are other opportunities within the academy. So if you are at one particular tier of the academy, then you also get access to the weekly Q&As. We do monthly workshops. You get more sort of FaceTime, if you like, with me and everyone else in the academy as well. So there are other benefits to being an academy member, but also you get access to all of the courses. So when you're thinking about pricing your courses, that might be a consideration, subscription model versus paid and whatever. And so how you come down on that is going to depend on you. But for me, I wanted to start with, getting a body of work first of all, before introducing a subscription model in addition to the paid course model. And that's just my approach. I'm not saying that's going to be right for everybody. And the next thing then is, this is where it can come to, some things that maybe are not familiar. So creating a launch plan, developing a plan for launching your course, including your marketing strategy and timeline. And again, this is this thing of, you've got your area of focus and expertise, but maybe creating launch plans and marketing material isn't your expert field, because it isn't for most people, is it? This is where ChatGPT can really help you. And in fact, if you're thinking about building out, an overall structure with multiple courses and all of this kind of stuff, ChatGPT can really help with that too. You can actually ask it to create you a launch plan for a course that you haven't even created yet that involves free content. It can give you ideas for lead magnets, which is this second thing here, or the point number 9. So you can use ChatGPT to help give you this sort of outline of all of these things. So if this isn't your area of expertise, obviously ChatGPT can help, the Kajabi Accelerator can help, and the ongoing support can help you with all this stuff as well. But you really can get some amazing frameworks from ChatGPT to then go and develop yourself. Next one, again, something that doesn't necessarily come naturally to people, is the sales page and creating those sales landing pages. So as I say, this is something that I've got experience of from previous roles. However, I still use ChatGPT to give me that initial framework as a starting point to get the ball rolling, to reduce the friction that usually bogs me down at various different points. Next thing would be creating a promotional video. Now, I make all of my videos, as I say, they're just one take. I don't have scripts and things like that in my YouTube content. I also don't have scripts in my course content either. I just have the outline and then I just deliver the content that way. I do give it a little bit of thought. Somebody asked me about this, about how much time I spend actually planning out my videos, and I said, well, I don't really spend any time. I just I have the title, I come in, and then I do the video as if I was just explaining to a friend how to do something. But when I actually thought about that, I thought that first of all, I thought that sounded sort of lazy, and what's the even worse word than that? Let me think. It's not incompetent, but it's like what? If I don't give any thought to my videos, well, that doesn't really set a good example, does it? To say I don't really think about the content, I just do them. What I realized when I started going into a really self-critical and self-analytical point of view with this was, I thought, well, actually, I'm constantly thinking about the content, because when I have an idea for a video, I'm constantly working it through in my head, thinking about, I need to talk about, whatever it is, this piece of software or something. As I'm actually using things, I'm constantly thinking about this. So although I don't necessarily sit down and create, a video plan for each individual video, it's something that I've kind of subconsciously and consciously gone through in my mind hundreds of times over before actually making it, without realizing it. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But the promotional video, though, all of that was to digression slightly, was to say that with the promotional video, like the sales landing page video, I do create a script for that. Now, I didn't normally sort of go through it a couple of times to get it right, to think about what I'm going to say in there. But that is something that I do think about, because the sales video that you might have on a landing page, for example, like if I go back over to my site here and just pick out any one of these courses, then if I go through to, let's say the Stream Deck course that we went to earlier, or maybe the Rodecaster masterclass here instead. So if we go through to this landing page, this video that I've got at the top, this would have been something that I scripted, because I want to make sure that I've got some key points in here. So when this plays and it's talking about what's in there. This is my studio when it was a little bit more bare, not as many things in the background. That shows how long ago that was. But these kind of things here are, I do tend to script them so that I make sure that I have the particular, the sales formula, whatever. There's various different sales formulas that you can use in these videos. So that is something that I do tend to script and think about. So creating the promotional video, then, that's step 12. That's something that, again, if you are not familiar with these sales formulas, like the PAS formula, problem, agitate, solution, where you introduce the idea of some issue that people may have, and agitate is, talk about, why that might be limiting them. And then the solution is, here's the solution we've got for you. That's like one formula. There's various ones of these, AIDA, which is attention, interest, desire, action. So you grab someone's attention with a hook, stir their interest and cultivate their interest with what you're talking about. Give them some desired outcome that they might have at the end. And then the action part is, the call to action, sign up now, all of these kind of things. So there's various ones of these different formulas, I should say, that you can use, and ChatGPT can help with that. And then finally, the launch your course section. And obviously each of these 12 things, there's multiple things within here, but the point is the launching is, announcing it on social media, maybe creating some social media videos around your courses and so on. So that is just a sort of outline of these 12 steps of things to maybe think about when launching your course. And as I say, it's all documented in this free document. So if I just quickly pop through to the chat before I go in, because I do apologize for neglecting folks. And Sean, great to see you here. We've got a stranger here from Aberdeen. Hi, Dad. Malcolm Johnson. And we've got Keely as well, Discord coach. And we've got Florence. First of all, Florence, can I just say, I feel like I need to I need to go and clip all that you said on your stream with James Hicks and Keith Pelzer the other day about the digital stage revolution. Thanks so much for your kind words. Florence was at the last digital stage revolution last year, and to say that she gave it a glowing review is an understatement. I really, really appreciate it. Dan, great to see you here as well. The Ink Inspired Life, great idea to batch make your video content. Yeah, it's definitely the way with the course content, and for me, it's sort of getting into a flow with it as well. And so I find that if I've just got an outline, I just go through and sort of bang them out, one after another. Then it also means that I've got them fresh in my mind if I'm referring to previous videos, especially going through with them unscripted. Then doing it all like that is kind of the only way I can do it. The value your knowledge. There was another similar one to that, which was the guy fixing the problem. There was another one, I think this is attributed to Picasso or something like that. Somebody said, would you mind drawing me a picture, drawing a quick portrait? And he just did this really quick sketch and then said, that'd be $3,000 or whatever the equivalent of. I forget the exact nature of this thing. But somebody said, what? That only took you a few seconds? He says, no, it took me a lifetime, because, obviously a lifetime of developing the skills. In the courses, do you include transcripts of your videos? So funnily enough, I haven't had transcripts of all my content, but it's something that there's a couple of people I've been working with that are specifically in the accessibility space, and making sure that things are more accessible. And I actually had somebody reach out to me that was blind and wanted to have just purely the audio of the course as well. So it's something that I'm looking to improve in my course content, is making it available in many different ways. You can toggle on the transcripts, but there's not like a download of it as well. The other thing that I want to do more of is actually translating. So when I look at folks who are taking my courses or watching my content, there is some specific languages that maybe it would be better if I could offer them in multiple different languages. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing slightly different as we as I build out more of these things. So yeah, but you can certainly do that. You can upload the the SRT file, the text transcript file. You can upload that within Kajabi. It is there as a feature. So having gone through the guide, just one final thing then, because we're coming up to the top of the hour, so I'm going to keep it quite tight today, is just talking about this offer. And I'll start with just taking you over to the Kajabi page that they've got. Our best deal ever is here, $99 for 3 months. You can see here, Roberto Blake, if you're not sure who that is. He's on Kajabi. And one thing I noticed is when you come down to these little things here. This Shini Boku, I've picked the most unpronounceable name for me, but this is something really key here. Even with less than 10,000 followers on Instagram, I was able to build a six-figure business. Well, I've just recently passed 9,000 followers on YouTube. And I've been able to build a six-figure business using Kajabi off the back of, my YouTube channel and all of my efforts here. And there's something to this because, we're talking now about Kajabi and course creation. But I think that in the content creator space, too many people are actually chasing their YouTube numbers, thinking that YouTube is the thing. Whereas actually, you've also got to be aware of the fact that YouTube is a platform. YouTube can change, and anything that you've got on YouTube technically can be taken away at any time. And in fact, in the first episode of the Live Streamer Backstage podcast I mentioned earlier that I did, where I was interviewing folks, one of the guests I had on there, the first guest, in fact, was JP Hightech, and he told the story about how he had built his YouTube channel to over 100,000 subscribers. There was some technicality in the changes of terms and conditions on YouTube. There was something that happened with some videos that he had that were retrospectively, given some sort of mark or whatever against him, and his YouTube channel was basically taken down. And he's now started over again with his YouTube channel and is building it all back up again. But he had to start with a new channel from scratch. So all of that hard work and effort was just gone, like in an instant. And so you do have to be careful of the fact that, if you are on any of these platforms, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, be it wherever, you are basically at the mercy of them, their policies, their decisions. And sometimes these things can happen, totally innocently. It's not like you've done anything wrong. It's not like you've deliberately tried to manipulate things or do anything, untoward in that respect. But something can happen that then causes your channel, your content to be affected. So that's just one little warning. Being in control of your content and having ownership of it is one thing. But the fact is that the YouTube is just potentially an inbound marketing thing. And whilst you may, look at your revenue on YouTube and think, this is going to take ages to actually make anything out of it, you can really create a meaningful income using YouTube or whatever platform as the inbound marketing to then take people through to your paid content. Still give all of the great free value, give your authentic self on YouTube, but you've also got this way to actually monetize it in a far more effective way. And if I look at my sort of revenue from Take One Tech and look at what percentage, YouTube is as a part of that in terms of YouTube AdSense, the affiliate revenue that you get from being a part of the YouTube partner program, that is becoming a diminishing percentage of revenue, to the point of being sub 1% at this time in terms of what that actually contributes in financial terms. But what it does contribute is everything in terms of the lead generation, stuff like that is a massive component of that. So when you are thinking about potentially making something out of your passion, out of your maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's your area of expertise in your business or whatever, thinking about how YouTube can help that, it is just a conduit into your courses. And so just coming back to this, this really resonated with me because that's kind of the position that I'm in. Less than 10,000 subscribers. I've been on YouTube for just over 2 years. Well, no, not just over 2 years, 2 years, 7 months, nearly 3 years, let's say it that way instead. But the other thing was, my first year or more on YouTube, it was just literally a sort of a side project that I was doing for a couple of hours in the morning. And I wasn't really thinking about it fully in business terms. I did always have a sort of business approach to it, I guess, but I hadn't really established, what my core audience was and all of these kind of things. And so had I started from right now, I would approach things a lot more differently. I would have my, my site built out that was the product rather than my YouTube channel being the thing. So my website used to be all about my YouTube channel. Now I barely mention YouTube on my website because the traffic is flowing the opposite direction. And yeah, you really can build, a substantial revenue out of a relatively small audience. So this point here, just to hammer this home, this really did resonate with me when I read that. And so yeah, you get access to 3 months of their the same plan that I'm on, which, as I said, is normally $199 a month. You're getting it for $99 for 3 months. And then you're also getting access to my Kajabi Accelerator. As I say, 2 sessions a day for the whole of next week, then a live session a week after that. There'll also be other content, the pre-recorded content in there as well. And I'll basically be on hand to help you with take your business to the next level. And anybody who's done any of my live trainings will know that I don't ever hold back. There's nothing you can't ask, and no question that I won't answer in those sessions either, just as there isn't in this live stream, in fact. So yeah, I'm here to help you be successful on your Kajabi journey as well. And I highly encourage you to consider giving it a go. Incidentally, if you are already using Kajabi and you want to do the course is available as a standalone course. As I say, it is from here. If you go to my courses, you'll find that people can just sign up. We've already had folks sign up directly this way as well. So if you go to my courses section, and then go down to the Kajabi Accelerator just down at the bottom here. Click on that one, and then you can just get access that way as well. So folks who are already using Kajabi, you can just go and buy into the course this way, and the course is $197. So, but if you sign up to Kajabi using my affiliate link, you get free access to that. And full disclosure, the reason is because when you sign up to Kajabi using my affiliate link, they've got a great affiliate scheme too. So I'm getting revenue based on the fact that you're using Kajabi, which means that I'm giving the course for free because I'm incentivized for you to not just succeed with a $99, 3-month trial. I'm incentivized to have you succeed long-term, ongoing, because that benefits me as well. So full disclosure there, that's why I offer my Kajabi Accelerator for free. So it's a win-win for everyone. So just so that you know that I am truly committed to you and your success. With that said, if there are any questions about Kajabi that I haven't got to, not too many in the chat today, but you can always feel free to drop me a message. You can find the Discord where we chat about this as well, is the best place to do that. So either drop something into the comments, but the better place is to join the Take One Tech community. It's completely free, and so you can join that link that is in the description. Come into the community, ask me any questions that you've got in there as well, and I'll be happy to help. So with that said, I'm going to sign out now, but what I'll do is at some point afterwards, I will go back. First of all, I should reduce the size of my head in this scene, and then I'll add in some more Kajabi content into this little box over on the right-hand side. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you all next time, and have a wonderful day and a prosperous